Today's episode is brought to you by the distant past, by which I mean roughly 1982. It might actually be older, but I know for sure that it was available in the 1982 Edison Giocattoli catalog. I could probably tell how old you are based on what happens to your heart rate when you see this. This is what we in the United States called the Mallet fire, and what is known as the fire hand in Italian. This box came straight from Italy, so this is the Italian version, which I believe is mechanically identical to ours. These predated Nerf. At the time, the only thing Nerf was making was like foam balls and whatnot. And this is an actual Springer with a plunger and a rotating cylinder and everything. Now, what's really strange is that a lot of these blasters had magazines, had sealed breeches, had full-fledged Springer internals back in those days, and they cycled and everything. Even the revolver cycled, and yet for some reason this one is manual rotation. This one is actually really primitive in comparison. Still, an awesome little set piece. Now, the box has already been opened, so this isn't really an unboxing, but still, it's quite pretty. And they really put a lot of effort into these boxes back then because photography really did not look as appealing and colorful as it does today. So they actually commissioned people to properly paint these things. And in here, you see that they did not slouch on the detailing either. This is a fantastic amount of detail. Now, this doesn't fit on my hand. My hand is literally bigger than the gauntlet, but it is still nice. And this little priming bar on this side is quite comfortable, all things considered. And this is the trigger mechanism right here. Now, this is electronic. It doesn't fire electronically, but it has some sort of display or something. I have not figured out how to get this thing off, and I can't find any sort of reference material anywhere that tells me. Even the instructions don't really tell me. So I'm going to have to figure that out. Worst case scenario, I might have to unscrew this whole thing, although it would be a little silly if I had to unscrew the whole thing just to insert batteries. I'm starting to feel like that may be what they want me to do, because this certainly doesn't... oh, I'm an idiot. Right as I said that, yeah. Okay, so there's that. There's how that works. Okay, so let's get some batteries in this thing, and let's see what it does. All right, we are back with some batteries, and it turns out that this is the granddaddy of Nerf Star Wars blasters, the new Glow Strike line, because here's what it does. That's it. Well, I mean, the darts don't glow, but yeah, it's when you prime it, it lights up this very 1980s display. Let's see if we can get it to focus here. This is the most 1980s thing I have ever seen. This looks like the dashboard off a concept car back in the day. And actually some cars that went into production. And you're thinking, oh, that sounds cool. Why don't we ever see dashboards like that anymore? Because none of them work anymore. That's what 1980s electronics did. They didn't work. Luckily, this isn't electronic, which is why it still works. This is just a fake electronic dashboard of sorts. So there's that. And here's the trigger mech. I'm going to put my hand over the firing chamber so that it doesn't dry fire as hard. Come on. There we go. Now, the ammo is these little dudes here. These are quite squishy, little plastic rounds. The nose is squishy too. And they're a slightly larger caliber than the modern versions. Edison Giocattoli does still make blasters, and they are quite fantastic. They fire little rubber versions of these, well, I mean, little red rubber versions of these things. These are officially referred to, I believe, as rubber gummies or pellets. So they come with the tree still attached to them like this, and you just twist them off and you stick them in here. So let's see if we can fire one, and let's see what it does range-wise. I'm not expecting a whole lot, but surprise me. Mallet fire. Oh, that's It's not bad. I mean, I doubt it's doing more than 30 FPS. I might be wrong. It could be like 40 or 50, but it's definitely not hitting ultra hard. That's okay. It makes up for it in personality. So that's how that works. I will be chronoing this thing, as well as a bunch of other Edison Giocattoli blasters that I am amassing. And we will get a much more thorough video and some performance figures on all of them. In the meantime, this has been the Giocattoli Mallet Fire. I hope you enjoyed, and look forward to more.